Okay, this is an overview of the Brother PR650 machine. It's a 6 needle machine. As you can see, 6 separate needles, all threaded with different colours. Each one has their own capability of threading it, and the tracking is all numbered from the needle all the way up through the tension reels, through the thread stand, and to the spools itself. And there's the 6 colours at the top. This is going to be a very simple, basic introduction, basically from when you first get it out of the box. So round the corner here is the power switch, so we're just going to flick that on, and then we're going to concentrate mainly on the screen. And every time you switch it on each day, it asks you to put a drop of oil on the hook, just to make sure you keep it nice and lubricated. It also is going to tell you that it's going to calibrate the arms here. The frame is going to move and calibrate itself every time you switch the power on. So we're just going to click OK here. And it does a bit of chunking about and sets itself up. It does come with a stylus that's stored in this nifty little thingy at the top, which you can use to touch the screen. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. If I'm doing quite a bit of work on the screen, I'll use it. If not, I'll use my trusty old finger. Okay, so this is the main screen. This diagram here is the hoop sizes. It comes with 4 sizes of hoop, from the 8 by 12 inches, which is the biggest one here, down to the 5 by 7 inches. This little one tucked in the back here is 4 by 4 inches. I'll show you the hoop separately in a minute. And this one is 2.5 inches by 1.5 inches. Tiny, tiny one there. Okay, this one here, once you've selected a design, you can tap on that one and it'll actually show you what it's going to look like stitched out. So it'll remove all the bits and bobs. We'll show you that in a minute. And this is the home key that you would find on any internet or computer. Okay, we're going to move down the screen. Mine is set, see that little box there? The red cross shows the centre of the screen and the centre of the hoop. I've got my display at the moment set to show me the size of the hoop for the very smallest, the 2.5 by 1.5 inch hoop. So I can see how big my design is in comparison to that hoop. And we can change that. I'll show you that now. So we go down to the bottom. So if you're going to use a, say for instance, 4 by 4 hoop, we tap on this icon here, little piece of paper with the ticks on. And this is where all your settings are, and you can change that. Lots and lots of things in this setting here. So this one is the 2 3/8 by 1.5 inch. That's the one I've got it set on. So if we tap on the arrows, it'll flick through all the different options. So this one, we don't actually have a hoop that's physically that size, but if you've got a design similar to that size, you can see it in relation to that size on your screen. 5 1/8 by 2 inch. That is for the cap hoop. We'll go into a bit more detail on that on a different video, because that's a bit more in depth. But that's for designing on the front of a baseball cap. Also, we don't have that hoop, but again, same thing applies. If you've got a design of those similar proportions, it gives you an idea of the sizes and relative. That one's fully gridded, so if you want to line up any text or anything like that, it gives you a bit more idea of placement. Just in quadrants, that one. This is the bigger hoop. So this is, I call it 12 by 8, but it always shows a fraction smaller. So just to give you that little bit of leeway, so your needle is not going to be bumping into the size of your hoop, the sides of your hoop, sorry. So this is the big one. You can see it fills the screen. 5 by 7 is a fraction bit larger on the physical sizes, and that grey box there shows you that. And there's the 4 by 4. And back to the one we were at before. So today I'm going to use the 4 by 4, so we're going to go back to the 4 by 4. And you can turn that red centre cross on or off, like that. I like to leave mine on, it's just handy for lining up, etc. You can also choose, we'll skip that one for now, You can choose what brand of thread you use. I tend to use Madeira rayon, but there's all sorts in there, silky. You can just flick through them and have a look. You can actually set your own up as well. So I'll go back to Madeira rayon. And that, what it does there is it actually sets up the codes that Madeira allocate to each colour, so you can set up the code in the machine and you know you're using the exact same shade that is on the design or your preference. Okay, we're not going to go through everything on the screen because it is just a basic overview. You can change the background colour of the screen. I've not bothered doing that because I don't see the point unless you really want to see exactly what something's going to look like. If you're embroidering on a pink item, you can change it to pink, I suppose, but I don't do that. I tend to do that on my software, my Embed software. You can set it to trimming the jump threads. I always have that on. Why would you have a dog and bark yourself? I'm not going to leave the threads on to then snip off later. The tail that it leaves when it does the tying off stitch, you can have it set to standard or long. I always have mine on standard, although that's still pretty long, so I do tend to have to trim it off a bit anyway. Let's have a look, skip through some of those. So these are your needles, numbered 1 to 6, as are the needles on the machine. So if you use a lot of white, for instance, you can set number 6 to be reserved for the white. So number 6, we go down to the colour charts. I'm on Madeira rayon, choose number white. I use 1001 as my white, and then click set. And that you'll see up here is a little anchor. That means no matter what you do, no matter what designs you bring in, it'll always go to needle number 6 for colour 1001. Okay, I'm going to do the same with black because I always have black on needle number 3. So we click on number 3, we go down to the colour chart. This one's black and it's colour 1000 Madeira rayon, and we click set. And we pop up to the top and we see that it's changed to black and it's now got that anchor on. So there's no messing about, there's no, oh well, it wants white first, so I've got to put that on needle 1. You don't have to do that. It's very handy because I use a lot of black and white, which I think a lot of embroiderers do. Again, if you're using pink a lot or red a lot, you can do the same with any of these. The only thing it won't let you do is anchor every needle because it's a bit pointless. Okay, so that's that screen. See what else we've got. You can set how often the screensaver comes on when it's inactive, like if it's asking you to change your needle or your thread's broken, how often, how long it's delayed until it goes into screensaver mode. So 5 minutes is ample for me. You can put the screensaver on and off. Once you've read it a couple of times, it soon gets on your nerves, so you turn it off. The light I nearly always have on, it's a very handy thing to have. Speaker volume, thread sensor, whether you're broken thread on the top or whether your bobbins run out. Why would you have it off? I do not know, but I like that function. And the last page is setting it to inches or millimetres. I love an inch. So English is obviously my preferred language, and here as well, if you ever selling it, this is the screen where people want to know how many stitches is it done. So the trip count is usually since the last service. Total count that the machine's done in its lifetime. These are in stitches, these top two, and these ones are in time. So since the last service, my machine's done 59 stitching hours consistently. And in total of its lifetime, 1,382 hours of sewing. This tells you the software that you're running and the version. There's always updates, so you need to check on the Brother website. And that's that, so we can close that one. So we're good to go, we're good to pretty much start sewing. Here there's some inbuilt designs. We'll have a little look, but we're not going to spend too much time on that. In the inbuilt designs you've got things like flowers, birds, there's a horse there, I think that's a tiger, let's have a look. Yep, that's a tiger, and that's showing you, the relation, the size of the tiger in that 4x4 frame that we chose earlier. And in the top corner it's showing the exact dimensions. Here we go. So it's 3.59 inches by 3.76 inches. And here, now we've chosen a design, it's showing you which hoops you can use for this design, for the size of this design. So the large one, the 8x12 is still lit, the 5x7 is still lit, and the 4x4 is still lit. You can see on this one, the 2.5 by 1.5 inch is now grey. You cannot use that hoop for this design because it's just too big, which is a very handy thing to know. So as we were saying before, this one shows you exactly what you're going to see. So let's tap that now. And that shows you the hoop, the size of the design in the hoop. Let's just zoom out a little bit. And you can change the hoop sizes here, which hoop you're going to use. I'm going to use the 4x4. Hey presto, that's exactly what it's going to look like. So it's going to fill the stitch area of my 4x4 hoop. Let's just see what it looked like in the big hoop. Huge. So it's tiny design inside that massive big hoop. So we'll go back to 4x4. Okay, so that's a really handy thing to do, just in case you're not sure whether it's going to be too close to the edge, or if you wanted to fit a bit of text in or something at the same time. Okay, so we can close that. Okay, there's also frames available in all sorts of shapes and sizes. So we've got circles, squares, kite shape, diamond, whatever you want to call them, ovals, rectangles, shield, heart, what's that, octagon? Yeah, octagon, another kind of shield, and an oblong. So in each one there is various options. So let's choose that one. That's a circle with little, can you see very well there? Little petals or rosebuds or something going around it. We can set that. Hang on. I want to get the best selection so you can see everything that I'm doing. So you can change the size, you can rotate it, not that this one would make any difference because it's circular. You can flip it over, you can move it around slightly in the frame, or just press that centre one and that takes it back to the middle. When you plug your machine into your laptop or your PC or your Mac or whatever, it's going to come up with it in the computer section. See how that just popped up, removable disk drive? Here, mine's actually coming up as F. Oh, can you see that? Yeah, just about. So that F drive there, that is my machine, my embroidery machine. And also I've got a little pop-up window that's through my Windows autoplay. It's telling me that I've just plugged in removable disk and it's designated it as disk F. And these are the options I want to do with it. So in this case, I'm going to open the file to view, open the folder to view file. Okay. So in there at the moment is absolutely nothing because I've not put anything in there today. So this works on a drag and drop system. So all my designs are stored in one folder on Dropbox I use because I think it's safer if anything was to happen to my PC or the hard drive of a computer or anything like that. I've still got them on the cloud in Dropbox. I can access it from any computer anywhere as long as I've got the internet. So I'm happy with that. It synchronises itself with my laptop and my PC. So I've got all the designs I own in several places without having to do any extra work. So let's just choose one at random. Let's see. I use, just as a quick side note, I use Embroidery. I don't do digitising. I'm not a digitiser, but I do like to use the software to edit things together, like to add text or resize things slightly, or put two embroidery designs in the same hoop or something like that. And along with Embroidery is one of the plugins for Embroidery is called Iconizer. I use that